All right, good morning. Today's topic is making charts, graphs. You're going to want to play along with me, so go into my Outbox if you haven't already done so, and open up the one called Lab Demo 4, which is under the Lab Demo folder. All right, so here we are. No functions today, it's sort of an oddity. We're going to learn how to make 4 different kinds of charts, and I'm going to give you a few do's and don'ts as we go along the way. Your assignment for next lab, before the beginning of the next lab, is to do the case problems at the end of tutorial 4. All 4 of them, turn them in, 1 submission, 4 attachments, if you would please. And again, use the names that the book calls for. It makes my life a lot easier if you do that. So when it comes to making a chart, the mistake that is most often made is people try to put too much stuff on it. That ruins the effectiveness of a chart. You want to keep it to a minimum. You want to be able to keep people focused on the picture that's in the center of that. Okay. And so most of what I'm going to show you today is taking away stuff and not really adding stuff, because a simple chart is the thing that people remember. Look, we know from countless studies that people remember images, pictures, more than they do words. So if you want people to remember something, then you make a picture for them. And if you make a good picture, they'll remember it even better, and life is, just couldn't be better if you do that sort of stuff. So we'll talk about that sort of stuff. So let's get started with the simplest of charts, a pie chart. Okay. The strategy today is like this. First, you figure out the story that you want to tell. What's that one point I want people to remember? Then you go out and you collect the data and you put it into a small table all by itself. Then you make it into a chart. If you follow those steps, things go much better for you. So I'm going to make a chart that shows the biggest movie studios for 2012. And it turns out there's all sorts of data on the internet for this. So let me show you a trick here this morning. First of all, I'm going to click on this link, and that should fire up my browser. Should. And it's doing something. Okay. And it takes me to this. And is that the one I want? No, we want the yearly one, I think. Okay. So I had to hunt around a little bit. Anyway, I found this web page. Now, you could type this information in. You could try to copy and paste it back into your spreadsheet. But there's another trick that still works on at least half of the web pages around there. So I've got this address. I'm going to copy it. I'm just going to go up to the URL, and I'm going to copy it for future use. Maybe I am. There we go. And then go back into Excel. And there's a built-in web browser in Excel itself. It's not a very good one, but it has one really great feature. So under the Data tab, click on that. And then on the left-hand side of the ribbon where it says From the Web, click on that. And you get this little stripped-down version of Internet Explorer. And then I'm going to paste that URL that I just copied from the real browser into here. And then just go, and it should take me to that same web page. There's no real search feature here. There's not really much to it. So that's why you generally do it the way I showed you, is you use a regular browser, find what you're looking for, and then come back into Excel. And here's the same web page we were just looking at with one big difference. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. Maybe. Okay. Notice these little yellow boxes here. Excel sees this, or this browser sees this, and says, I can copy this directly into Excel if that's what you want. So the one we want is this one right here, right by the word rank, that little yellow box there. If you click on it, it should turn to a green check. says, I want to download that data. Okay? And so it's going to grab that whole table of data, and we'll bring it in. We'll do whatever we want to do with it. Then where it says import in the lower right-hand corner, that dialog box, click on that, and then pick, I don't know, some cell down here. That's going to be the upper left-hand corner of that table that you're going to import. And just say OK. And then just choose another definition. Just put it on a new sheet. I'll explain what. Just pick a new sheet. We'll just put it there. And then just, can I do that? No, I can't. Well, this is embarrassing. Go back to the pie chart. Go, I know, we can do this. Go way out here to like AA. Now I lost it. Back. All right, let me try this again. Data from the web. And there it is. Finally, I got it. All right. What happened is I was using this on Friday and I forgot to clean it up. One of the features here is it leaves that, it makes what's called a data query buried inside the spreadsheet. So every time we open it, if we set it up right, it will go back and get a fresh copy of that data. So obviously the top movies for 2000, or the top studios for 2013 are going to change as new movies come out. So we could use this to get fresh data every time we use this workbook. All right. So anyway, now the thing is, we've got the data, but we got way too much data. So the next step is to make a little table out of just the stuff we want. And what I want are just the top 5. So I'm going to come down here and insert a line, a row right after the 5th one. All right. What we want when all done here is a little set of blanks all the way around the data we need. Okay, so I don't need the rank, so I get rid of that. I don't need the studio, so I can just move that out of the way. I do need the gross, so I'll just pull that over like that. And now I have, well, and I'll just pull those type, well, let's see. Pull that up out of the way like that. We'll just put movie here, and we'll put gross over here. You want your columns labeled, because Excel will take advantage of that when it's building the chart for you. Okay. So at this point, I've got this stuff in its own little data block. Okay. Everybody with me? So that's the hard part. Now making the chart, it comes, and it's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is pick a cell in that region. Don't try to highlight the whole thing. It's a waste of your time. Just pick a cell in that region. Okay. Then go to Insert, and you want the pie chart one. So you pick that one, and you want the first one. So we'll just pick that. And there's our chart. Okay. Not a bad chart, but we can do some things to make it even better. All charts need a good title. That's the context on which people look at your chart and understand what you're trying to talk about. So up here we probably should say So I just clicked where it said gross, and we'll change that to something like top gross for 2013. Like that. Now, we don't want this legend down here at the bottom because that distracts from the picture, so we're going to get rid of that. See that little plus right on the right-hand side of the chart? If you click on that, you'll get that, and then you just uncheck legend, and that'll get rid of that. Okay. So that makes the chart a little bit bigger, which makes it easier to read. Also focus their attention on that. Now, we'd like to know what those colors mean, so we should give them labels. So where it says data labels, you can go to that. There's a little arrow there. If you pick that, it'll give you all sorts of stuff. You go to, well, let's say, more options. And you should get this thing. All right? We want category names. We don't want values. Charts are not about numbers. Rarely do you need to display numbers in a chart. Charts are to give trends, impressions, the overall summary, that sort of stuff. Nobody really cares exactly how much each one of these movies grossed. We're just looking to see how they competed with each other and stuff like that, so we can do that. Now, if you want, you can put the percentage in there if you think it helps the story, but I generally don't. I'm a pretty strict minimalist when it comes to this sort of stuff. And now we've got a chart. And I'm going to take, all right, we can just leave it like that. Okay. So so the attention's focused on the center. We've cleaned it up. We've gotten rid of any sort of extra stuff. We've given it a good title. We have a decent chart. Okay. So as you can see, making the charts the easy part. Now, 3D charts. 3D charts are a personal pet peeve of mine. No matter what you do in this semester, never turn in a 3D chart to me, okay? They're just wrong for lots of different reasons, but I'll show you the most important reason. One of the nice things we like about Excel is it's easy to change chart types. So I just picked that chart again, and then up here on the right-hand side of the ribbon, it says change chart type. I can change this to a different kind of chart. Now, because I have that data in a little table, I can do whatever I want to do with it. Okay, so I'm going to pick 3D. It's not very 3D-ish yet. Let me make it more so I can show you what's going on here. 3D rotation, and I need to, oops. Okay. Now, notice how big Man of Steel is versus Fast and Furious, right? Though they're roughly the same size percentage, right? Or look at Iron Man 3 and Man of Steel, right? Almost exactly the same percentage, but Man of Steel is much bigger. In fact, if I rotate this baby around here, I can make it look like Iron Man 3 is much bigger than Man of Steel, though they're the same percentage. And that's because we have to trick the eye into seeing that as a 3D thing. And to do that, we simply make the things in the bigger than the things in the background. So to make this work, we have to purposely make this part down here bigger than this part up here. So no matter what you do with a 3D chart, you're going to give a false impression. So, do what you want with it, but don't use it in my class. And I'm going to just change that back. And just go back to that. And then put it back. Now, before I move off of this, never mind. We'll just keep it simple for today. All right? So the strategy is know what the story is you want to tell, the one point that you want to really hammer home to people, gather the data, put it in a little table by itself, label the columns, and then go into Excel, build the thing, and take away whatever you can, and you've got a good chart. All right? So questions here? Your turn. On P1, there's in July of 2013. And just do the same thing and make a little pie chart out of it.